Overnight, the father of the suspected gunman is speaking out, telling the New York Post that the night before the Highland Park attack, he and his son discussed the recent mass shooting in Denmark, adding that his son called the Denmark shooter an idiot. Police say the suspect, Robert Cremo III, legally purchased the firearm used in the shooting and 4 others after passing 4 background checks in 2020 and 2021. Earlier in 2020, his father had sponsored his firearm owner's identification card, telling the New York Post he did so because he thought his son was planning to go to a shooting range, adding he bought everything on his own and they're registered to him. Authorities now say the suspected gunman considered committing a second attack on the 4th of July. After fleeing the scene from his deadly rampage, police say he drove 2 hours to Madison, Wisconsin, where he ditched his cell phone at this auto shop and saw another potential target.
He did see a celebration that was occurring in Madison, and he seriously contemplated using the firearm he had in his vehicle to commit another shooting.
Authorities say the suspect did not go through with that attack because it was not planned or strategized. The revelation, investigators say, made as part of his voluntary and detailed confession to police, in which he admitted to dressing up as a woman, climbing onto a roof, and aiming a rifle like this one at innocent parade goers, including children, on the street below. The state's attorney speaking to Tom Yamas overnight.
He should not have been able to buy firearms.
During a virtual appearance in front of a judge on Wednesday, he was ordered held without bond. As the community mourns, we now know the names of the 7 lives lost, including Eduardo Uvaldo, who died yesterday in the hospital after being shot in the head. He would have turned 70 on Saturday.
His daughters would have planned something for him.
Lindsay and Danny Hartman brought their 4-year-old daughter Scarlett to the parade too.
It will stick with us forever. 15 minutes that will now be with us for the rest of our lives.
As more than 80 rounds rained down on them from above, they used their own bodies to shield Scarlett from the hail of bullets. The couple says they were just 20 feet from Kevin and Irina McCarthy, who reportedly died protecting their 2-year-old son, Aiden.
Horrible to think about, but had you suffered the same fate?
I mean, obviously I don't want to die, but it was way more important to me that she live.
Maggie, in your story there, you mentioned the suspect's father sponsoring his gun permit. That's raising a lot of questions over potential liability. A lot of folks are asking about this. What have police said about that part of it?
Right, as you said, a lot of questions about the father's role in this shooting. So in their press conference, Illinois State Police saying as part of their larger ongoing criminal investigation, they're absolutely looking into whether, frankly, anyone else besides the suspect played a role in this shooting and therefore could face criminal charges. It is worth noting that some legal experts say if nothing else, the father could very well face civil lawsuits due to his role in kind of what we've learned in the wake of this shooting. At the same time, we should mention and should stress the father talking to the New York Post overnight, saying in his words he had 0 involvement in this shooting, adding again, as we reported, his son passed multiple background checks. Craig?
Maggie Vespa for us there in Highland Park, Illinois. Maggie, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.